All right, I think I solved it. I am going to go to black and then roll opening, and then we'll be a couple rocks in, and it'll be you guys.
Got it.
Check.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome to the Swift Current Curling Club. It is day one action, draw one action of the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. My name is Al Cameron from Curling Canada, joined today on color commentary by Jeff Draper. And Jeff, we've got an interesting match. Jeff Chambers, off to a great start here. We're a little rattled, but it is day one action and draw one action, and it is the home team, Jeff, a team you know very well, Team Sean Meacham, from right here in Swift Current, the home team, taking on veteran Paul Fleming and his team from Nova Scotia. And Jeff, your thoughts on today's opening round matchup?
Well, I know it's going to be a great matchup. Yes, Team Saskatchewan's looking really sharp out there. The whole crew has been training pretty hard and having the home ice advantage. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can pull off here. And looks like in our first end of action, we've got action. So it should lead to be a very interesting first end.
And it was Team Saskatchewan with last rock advantage in the first end. They covered the pin. Both Kelly Schaefer and Sean Meacham covered the pin with their draws. So great start for Saskatchewan. We'll run down the lineups very quickly. It is Team Saskatchewan. The lead is TJ Heikert. The second is Chris Heikert. The third, vice skip, Kelly Schaefer. And the skip is Sean Meacham. They are from the Swift Curling Club. Team Nova Scotia, former Canadian champion, former Canadian mixed champion Paul Fleming is the skip. The vice skip at third, Marley Powers. The second, Luke Saunders. And the lead, stop me if you've heard this name before, Colleen Jones, chasing her third Canadian mixed championship, doing it in a city she's won a Canadian mixed championship in previously, and doing it with her son, Luke Saunders, playing second. So that's quite a story, that Nova Scotia team, Jeff.
Absolutely. It's a veteran team at the skip, and then you've got a fairly new up-and-comer curler, Marley, and then you've the mother and son duo. That's fantastic. And these players have played each other before. They've played each other in previous mixed competitions, so they know what to expect from one another. So it should be a great shootout.
And ice conditions look very promising here as well. Jeff, you were saying that you threw on this ice Thursday night with the rocks that had just been sandpapered in preparation for championship conditions, and you liked what you saw Thursday night.
Yeah, absolutely. The ice installation came through just amazing this year. We had a few games on them, and the ice was running super, super fast, not a lot of curl. And so just on Thursday, they papered the rocks, and lots more action. So you're going to see a lot of late finish, especially later into the game where the ice gets worn in a little bit. It's going to be very fast and lots of great finish. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity to make some great shots.
Jason Broughton here at the Swift Current Curling Club is the chief ice technician for this event, and got a great crew working with him, and it looks like this ice is in fabulous condition. Don't think there's too many shots that will be off the table, but nice to see rocks in play in this first end.
No, absolutely. Normally we see the typical throw it in and just hit, and just try to get your bearings and go for a blank end typically, but they've decided to go right at it, and now it looks like there's multiple rocks in play.
Two veteran skips, you knew they were going to try and mix it up right off the bat. Talking with Paul Fleming, his team did not arrive here in Swift Current until 8:30 last night after the cross-country flight from Halifax, and they had first practice this morning. So they were right into it, but Paul, being the veteran that he is, he's not going to sit around and wait for things to happen.
No, absolutely. They've got used to traveling, and it is very tough in Canada with the time change and everything else switching over. But they've learned to adapt over the time, and yeah, they'll be ready to go full throttle.
So we're off to Skip's Rocks here. Paul Fleming looking at two. Saskatchewan has that deuce set up. And we'll see if they can finish it off. Paul has won Canadian Mixed Championships in the past. Also a former Brier runner-up in 2005 in Edmonton, of course, losing to Randy Furby. But Paul won in 1999 at Victoria, and then won again in 2003 in Abbotsford. And that 1999 team that won in Victoria, Colleen Jones was his vice skip. So
yes, he has lots of experience on the curling ice, so not too much will rattle him. One of the neat things I learned about him is he said if he had a superpower that he'd want to be able to curl till he's 80. And I thought that was pretty awesome. You can see the love that he has when you make an answer like that.
Yeah, it takes a lot to keep him off a sheet of curling ice. Had funny memories. I was talking to him about last year's Canadian Mixed in Prince Albert, and his clothing did not arrive in Prince Albert for quite a few days. So he was battling a few things there, not the least of which was a limited wardrobe. And talking to him, they got off the plane in Regina last night, and his luggage was the last one down the chute, and he was thinking, oh no, not again. But the luggage is here safe and sound, so good news for all Paul Fleming fans. He's got enough underwear for the week. He's good to go. So Sean Meacham now playing the open hit. TJ's working hard on this.
TJ jumped on this a little early, so yeah, must have pinched that a little bit coming out. She jumped it pretty quick. they'll definitely want to be sticking around here. It was a big opportunity to take a deuce, so that we'll have to sharpen it up a little bit there for sure.
Well, and that's something too, Sean. You know, they had 8 minutes on this sheet during practice today, and they'll still be getting used to the ice conditions because this will be different than what they face normally here at the Swift Current Curling Club. Same rocks, though. These are the club rocks. And Jeff, you were saying the yellow on this particular sheet does have a pretty good history.
It does. We've hosted some big events here in Swift Current, and for some reason those yellow rocks come out ahead on this sheet, and it's not because of poor rocks on the reds by any means. No teams complain about them. It's just one of those neat stats that hangs around, and just not sure why.
Colleen trying to get this to move a little bit. They'd love to hold this shooter, and very nice. Did it stay in?
Oh, if that stayed in, that is a terrific curling shot.
Holy moly!
That is. It's
how
really hard
true
to
are
tell
these
from
rings,
our overhead.
Jeff?
Yeah, no, they are very true. We've tested them out, and it's hard to see with their overhead, but that's definitely looking like it's going to be in, so he has to play it, and that's a magnificent shot because he can only see half a rock there.
So this is an early test for Sean Meacham. It was looking like a sure deuce 2 minutes ago, and now he's going to have to work hard to get this blank.
Absolutely. It was looking like an easy deuce, and now he's got some work to do. They like it out of his hands. Nope. It's going to be a wide. So that is a pretty wild first end that the troops will have to regain some composure after that one.
So it is a steal of 1 for Nova Scotia. We'll be back for second end action right after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club. It is second end action here in this draw 1 game between Nova Scotia's team Paul Fleming and Saskatchewan's team Sean Meacham, the home team from right here in Swift Current. And Jeff, it was a big steal of 1 for Nova Scotia, put together by just a wonderful hit and roll by Paul Fleming.
Absolutely. It was the end was set up perfect to take out a deuce there for Team Saskatchewan, but Sean was a little tight on his first one, and then Paul just came up with one of the best hit and rolls under the circumstances you could ever have, just have a biter and forced Sean to throw out wide where they wouldn't be practicing very much, so they wouldn't have known the ice at that point, and it got them the steal. So just an absolute grinding steal there, but well done.
So this Saskatchewan team, you've coached them in the past, but a little bit of a storyline this year is that Sean Meacham wasn't going to be playing, and in fact, it was Colton Flash that skipped this team to victory at the Saskatchewan Mixed Championship. And then Colton, now playing with his men's team that's skipped by Mike McEwen, is chasing points, looking to up their standing on the Canadian team ranking system. So the call was put out to a familiar face to get Sean back on the ice.
Absolutely. It was a lot of back and forth when it formed in the first place. This team was together and won the last couple times in the province. And when it came to playdowns last year, it worked out that Sean Meacham couldn't play. So Colton Flash kind of took his place on that. They ended up going on to win. And then they came full circle, and Colton Flash wasn't able to play in this, and Sean Meacham was back in.
And that makes it nice and easy because Sean obviously knows all these throws, knows where to broom them. So it was a nice, easy transition for him to come back to this team. And always a very solid team. This team's been together playing mixed for quite a few years now. And as noted, I believe you coached them 3 years ago in Quebec.
Yes, at the Quebec event, and there we played against the one game that I really remember was against Nova Scotia, and Luke and Colleen were on that team. And a little quick story while Chris is throwing down here, but there was a time change that happens at these events, and luckily in Saskatchewan nobody has to worry about that because the time always stays the same here. But out there was an hour time change, and the team didn't realize that, so they were late getting to the rink. Our team had already done their practice, did their throw. It was their practice time, and the clock was ticking. And then Colleen Jones came running through the building, ran to the ice, put her shoes on, stepped up, and just in time to throw the last rock, and she threw it right on the pin to win the hammer. So we all looked at one another going, wow, I don't think I will ever see that again. That was a pretty wild moment.
Breaking news, Colleen Jones, really, really good at curling.
Really, really good. That was an eye opener for me for sure. I thought I'd seen it all, but that blew me away.
And as you might expect, there's a lot of material on Colleen Jones. But one really cool fact is that in 1993, she and her husband, Scott, played here and won the Canadian Mixed Championship right here in Swift Current. And she happened to be pregnant at the time with her current teammate, Luke Saunders. So lots of connections to Swift Current for Colleen Jones and Luke Saunders, although he didn't know it at the time.
Well, I think you're definitely going to win on stat of the week right there on that one alone there, Al. That's pretty impressive.
Young week, Jeff. It's a young week. We got lots of time. I got lots in the hopper.
Oh, that's impressed me.
Trying to get that double. It's going to hang on, so it's still going to be Nova Scotia sitting shot. But Saskatchewan sitting second shot, and I suspect Paul's not going to let that situation last too much longer, no.
No, he'd like to, even though it's a kind of a trouble rock over there and they are shot, they want to get rid of that. And if they can be sitting three in the house, which is pretty open, they'll feel pretty confident here with the force.
Marley Powers now throwing. She is Luke Saunders' fiancée. Luke going to work to keep that rock straight. Like to hold that in the rings. That is going to be scrubbed out by Sean Meacham. So see, they are going to go right behind that corner guard and ignore the two counting stones.
Yeah, with the late finish, once they figure out where to put that broom, since it is early on in the end, and they're still getting a feel for the ice in the finish, if they can figure out, they've already had a crack at it, so they'll be pretty confident on getting the right ice and getting one buried in there to try to produce a miss.
Kelly Schaefer now, three-time Olympian representing Great Britain. In fact, her first trip to a world championship representing Scotland was in 2004, where Colleen Jones is playing. 2004 at Gävle, Sweden. Kelly was the alternate on that team. So they are shot, but it is open. Marley Powers will take it on. Marlee, by the way, is a talented volleyball player. She member of the Dalhousie Tigers in U Sports for 5 years and won 2 AUS titles, played in 2 Canadian University Championships as well.
Yes, her and Luke make up a multi-sport couple, that's for sure. Luke is very much into tennis and a competitive player, and now a tennis pro instructor. So
he is indeed at the Wagawoltic Club in Halifax. Played NCAA tennis for the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, 4-year scholarship. And in fact, he was playing at Tennessee Chattanooga when he represented Nova Scotia in the 2013 Canadian Junior Championships at Fort McMurray. So he was a two-sport man at that time. So Kelly Schaefer now trying to see if they can get that to finish, but
yeah, Kelly had a little bit of trouble on those releases. Very positive, and didn't get the curl on her 2 rocks that they drastically needed there. So either they're a little off on the ice reading, or